Well, hello there, second graders. I'm so glad that you turned on this video to find out what we will be doing in reading this week. So we will be reading a nonfiction book, and I know we have read several nonfiction books this year, but this one is a little different. This one is called Polar Lands. What do you think this book is going to be about? Well, I'll tell you what this book is going to be about. It's going to be about some of the coldest and windiest places on Earth. But it's going to be about the animals that live there, the plants that grow there, the people that live there as well. So we're going to find out quite a lot. There's quite a lot of vocabulary in this new book. And so I have added a vocabulary link so that you can learn the vocabulary. And this is going to really help you with this text. All right. This book is written by Margaret Hines. And I wanted to point out the table of contents so that you can see it. Here you are. If you notice, it just says contents. Some books say contents and some books says table of contents. Well, it means the same thing. As you know, a table of contents has to do with the topics that are listed and the page numbers that you could find them. All right, so let's just go ahead and start our reading. Our first topic is Ends of the Earth. I want you to be able to read along as I read this book. So I'm trying to see if I can make sure that you'll be able to see the writing well. Okay. The polar lands are found at the opposite ends of the world, in the far north and south around the poles. They are the coldest and windiest places on Earth. Frozen landscape. It is so cold in the polar regions that the land and the water stay frozen for most of the year. Polar animals need to be very tough to survive these conditions, as in the penguin right there. Arctic. The Arctic surrounds the North Pole. It is made up of the Arctic Ocean and the treeless lands around it, called the tundra. Antarctic. The Antarctic surrounds the South Pole. It is made up of a continent called Antarctica and the Southern Ocean around it. Frozen features. It is so cold in the polar lands in the winter that snow does not melt. Instead, it is pressed into ice as more snow falls on top of it. The ice forms thick sheets that cover the land. Snowflakes. If you look closely at snowflakes, you will see that they have many different patterns. Almost all snowflakes have 6 sides or 6 points, as in the case of this one right here. Underwater giants. Icebergs are huge chunks of freshwater ice that float in the polar oceans. The biggest part of an iceberg lies below the surface of the water. Crashing ice. Icebergs break off the edge of the polar ice sheets and crash into the ocean. This happens mostly during the summer when the ice melts a little. Light and dark. The polar lands are unique places. During the long, harsh winters, it is dark for almost the whole day. In the summer, the sun does not set for weeks on end. Lighting the way. In the summer, the sun dips in the sky at night, but it still lights up the land. Even though it is past midnight, these people can find their way home. Strange lights. Near the pole, the night skies are sometimes filled with glorious light shows. These spectacular natural displays are called auroras, or northern and southern lights. Summer squirreling. The ground squirrel survives the winter by hibernating, which is sleeping during the winter time. In the summer, it makes the most of the constant daylight to gather a supply of food for the next winter. Tundra in bloom. The tundra is a cold plain that is covered with snow in the winter. When the snow melts in the summer, the tundra comes alive with flowers and animals. Flowering carpets. A carpet of grasses, mosses, and lichens covers the tundra in the summer. These plants grow close to the ground, avoiding the freezing wind that howl above them, making seeds in the sun. In the short summer, tundra flowers such as this Arctic poppy blossom quickly and produce seeds. Then the seeds lie frozen in the soil all winter long. Sounds like the seeds are hibernating too. Dining alone. Lone grizzly bears roam the tundra when it is in bloom. They feed on mammals, insects, and plants, getting as fat as possible before the winter, when they hibernate in a den. I'm going to open this book so you can see the full picture of the bear. Adaptable animals. Adaptable is a word that means that you change to fit your environment. Animals that spend the winter in polar lands are specially adapted to survive in freezing temperatures. Many also have white coats so that they cannot be spotted in the snowy landscape. Antifreeze. The Antarctic ice fish survives in waters where most other fish would freeze solid. It has special chemicals in its body that stops it from freezing. Wow. Changing coats. The ptarmigan grows thick white feathers in the winter for extra warmth and camouflage in the snow. In the spring, it turns brown. Winter, spring. Survival of the fattest. There is no danger of this walrus getting cold. Like all sea mammals, it has a thick layer of blubber under its skin. This body fat keeps it warm. Blubber is fat. And this is the end of our reading for day 1. Don't forget to complete the activity at the bottom of your screen. See you tomorrow.